Hello, and welcome to any who might be watching. I am presently working on an updated version of the ship, now I don't have them all. Oh, yeah. Anyways, it's the Heijl's Valor. Wonderful little boat. For a quick comparison, this is what I came up with the other night. Various pieces, not really scaled too well. And, well, this is just the blocked out version. Now I've scaled it up a little bit for ease of work. Plus, it actually shows the actual size of this menace. Not counting the figureheads at either end. This behemoth of a boat is running about 225, 230 foot long. Which, yes, is very much bigger than your Honda Civic. In fact, you could probably fit your Honda Civic right through there easily. And all the other details haven't gone away, it's just I am refining things. I have things on different layers. So one thing I've done to further conceptualize this thing is... I'm going to quickly throw... No, not bounds. Yeah, I'll throw bounds on these just as that when deselected they actually are... No, that's not right. Okay, wire, that's what I want. So what I'm doing is... these are more for the sake of you viewers than for me. Actually, they're partly for the sake of me. Ha ha ha. So yeah, the basic of what I'm doing right now is merely figuring out what all the decks look like. And of course I have the boat ribbing, not to be mistaken with the rigging, the ribbing in places I can actually see how this, well, quite frankly, silly thing is constructed. Well, it's silly because... Well, partly because I'm the one who designed it. Ooh, okay, note to self. When doing that, do not have my character stand-in selected. Those character stand-ins, of course, are there merely to, well, stand in. These ladies exist for one reason and one reason only. And I can tell you safely it's not because of a plot point. Jadoon, the guy who I'm doing this for, or at least that's the screen name, it's probably laughing very much right about now. Okay, so this thing here is going to need to have a couple changes. And if you know me, you know exactly what I'm doing now. When I was saying if you know me, you really haven't, well, I really haven't done this enough to build a following yet. So as you get to know me, you'll find out that I do this mirror modifier thing an awful lot. I mean, like Scary Lab. And what I'm doing is just kind of forming the deck. Won't be a whole huge heap of space towards the extremities, but whatever. And after all, this is only the maintenance deck. We'll see what plot points do to this underside, and later tonight probably. And yeah, I know I do not need to do this part, but it actually makes me feel better knowing I put my whole effort into this. Or at least most of my effort. Control R, not Control T. I'll be quite honest, this screencaster add-on right over here, why, that silly thing. I just realized I've not been capturing my cursor this whole time. Anyways, this little thing here does a good job of showing what I'm doing. So, A, anybody following me can figure out what I'm doing. B, I can figure out what I'm doing. Which, if you ask me, is slightly more important from time to time. Maybe slightly more than slightly. Okay, so now I've got the ribbing in play, the lower deck. Now, if nothing else, the lower deck is, actually, that might be more than reasonable. That's a solid foot and change at clearance. Rig of this size. I don't know. Let's see about bringing in. Okay, so move to. Okay, let's just bring these to deck 1. Bring in these things too because. So. Yeah. Don't need those. I need those. Okay, these things are more or less to give me an idea as to what occupies where. So. Yeah, that's almost a foot there of clearance right there. Make that a good sturdy deck there. And the reason I'm doing that like that is because it's my prerogative. So yeah, again, I could probably do this other ways that are more efficient, but considering this is just the beginnings and I am not too terribly concerned with how this plays out with the final product. And let's just say that that little detail frees me up to not be too concerned about a whole lot of things. Whoops, need to grab the rig, not the character, because I don't even have these ladies being selectable like that. Oh well, whatever. It's a clear amount of clearance room there, so that's good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new hull based solely off the rigging as opposed to the old hull. Okay, let's see. Take those off because those are for the upper deck, not for the main deck. Okay. Capitalizing off the fact that I do have all these slats along here. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, there we go. Ooh, okay, how many edges do I have there? I have 7 edges, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Making sure I don't have doubles, because that would be a bad thing. Wait a second, I miscounted. Now then... And I'm doing it this way because I want my jump... Whoop. Don't want to collapse edges. I want to delete the edge loops. Anyways, I'm doing it this way because I want the geometry to be a specific way for future edits. This already had it down there because, well, that's how version control works. Okay, so now you kind of have your different... the actual form of how it's gonna work. Much smoother than the old one. And of course... this main deck I'm mostly keeping like this because, well... it already kind of has the right shape going to it. Oh, booger. Darn it, this deck's too high. Well, this is what version control is all about, ladies and gentlemen. These should be right about there. These belong on the maintenance deck. Because... Plot point. What in the world? Yeah, whatever. Oh well. Anyway, these three lovely ladies exist solely says that I can go, okay. They exist solely says that I can edit this silly boats deck or decks without having much of a issue regarding. Well, first of all, they don't complain too much about getting cramped into tight spaces, nor about any OSHA violations. So, okay, those boilers are. Okay, and just because I haven't said this enough, plot point. And yes, that word can get old fairly quickly. Mostly when you put in work and time and doing exactly, filling in exactly as you were requested. And oh, by the way, plot point. But you can't be too mad because sometimes the originator does not know exactly what they are looking for. So it then falls to you to figure out what it is that they actually want. And sometimes you do it well, sometimes not so much. But it's always wisest to deal with such irritations with as much grace as you can muster. Now then, it's time to figure out these silly walking arms. Add in a cylinder. And let's look at our... Yeah, that's far too many. 16 will work. And in case you were remotely curious as to what that was all about... I would like to know too, so if you could kindly tell me. I'm just kidding. What I'm doing is oops. Origins of 3D cursor, not geometry. I'm building these rocking arms. And what they basically do is they take the piston power, give it a little bit of leverage to turn the wheel. Plus they add a little bit of momentum control. So because I imagine that's... I'll just say that even like this is... about there. So what that's going to end up doing is when this gets pulled down, this comes up like that. Okay, let me see if I can get up a actual schematic of this real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a walking arm, it's a walking beam. Oh, actually, this kind of... I wish I'd looked at this image before. It makes the whole thing seem much better. Much more understandable. I love Google Images and its propensity to not care about what it is that you're trying to look at. I just came onto Google here and this is more or less what I'm trying to create. Actually, this one here more. Maybe this one. Nope, none of that. Problem with Google Images is that it decides what words you put in that it actually wants to show you. Yeah, I really should have done this before I started, but whatever. So yeah, this is basically what I'm making. Get a cylinder up and down here. Get this beam here. Get this rod here that actually turns the wheel. And on the walking beam, we've got our little levers that help control the piston's flow. So enough history lesson. Let's make ourselves a piston. There we go. .1, okay, that works for me.